Who is X-27? Is she a widow, a sex worker, a chambermaid, a traitor, or is she the greatest spy in history? She might be, if she had not been a woman. Oh. Dishonored is the 1931 Josef von Sternberg film, teaming up again with Marlene Dietrich, and is loosely based on the life of Matahari, a real-life figure who had a direct adaptation of her life that same year, starring Greta Garbo. If you want to hear me talk about that film, you can click that wherever that is. And while that film is a nice little romantic thriller, Dishonored is a much darker story of two troubled people in a game of cat and mouse with themes of identity, national loyalty, and honor. We meet Marie working the streets. She witnesses the aftermath of a suicide of another sex worker. Times are hard, and we learn that this isn't the first person they've seen take their own life this year.
I thought I smelled gas.
That makes 3 this year. And they haven't even decency enough to leave enough for the gas bill.
And we get a deeper understanding of who Marie is with this exchange.
I'm not afraid of life. Although I'm not afraid of death either.
That is probably the most famous line of the film, and not just because it showcases what a badass Marlene Dietrich is, but it encapsulates so much of what the film is about. The world telling Marie who she is and what will become of her, and Marie standing up to that and defying their expectations, living how she chooses rather than how she's expected to live. The chief of the Austrian Secret Service overhears this bold statement and thinks, "Not afraid to die, eh? I can work with that." And he sets about testing Marie's allegiance to Austria. She passes the test, and he invites her to meet. Marie shows up at the offices of the Secret Service, where we get this great scene of Dietrich strutting into this large group of soldiers, completely owning the room. She meets with the chief, and we find out that Marie is the widow of a captain that was killed during the war.
You're the widow of Captain Ferdinand Kolverer, who died last year.
My husband was killed in action.
The chief wants Marie to become a spy and to root out a traitor within their ranks. He warns her that it is an ignoble and dangerous profession.
It is now my duty to point out to you that the profession of a spy is the most ignoble calling on earth. Lower than anything you may have ever experienced. And it is dangerous, of course.
To which she replies,
I've had an inglorious life. It may become my good fortune to have a glorious death.
So now, as Agent X-27, Marie tracks down the traitor at a masquerade ball, goes home with him, and discovers how he's been passing along information to the enemy. But this leads her to a bigger fish, the Russian spy, Captain Kranau. Marie tries to go after him, but he senses something is wrong and escapes, only to break into Marie's home later that evening and discover her secret assignment. The two have a little tete-a-tete, making it clear that both of them are loving the spy game.
Stay where you are.
Better shoot quickly or I'll take that plaything away from you.
Stay where you are.
I think I removed the cartridges.
But Kranau ultimately escapes again. Later, in Russian territory, Marie, disguised as a chambermaid, has infiltrated their headquarters and seduced a soldier, giving her the ability to steal the Russians' secret plans by translating them into music. But Kranau, remember, he knows her secret plans and is on the lookout for her, eventually finding her by recognizing her cat. Which, first of all, this is the most generic black cat I've ever seen. Do they not have black cats in Russia? What made him think this was her cat? And second, why did you bring your cat to the super secret spy dangerous mission? You want to be responsible for your pet in this situation? Although, maybe you have the right idea. Anyway, Marie is captured, her sheet music with the secret plans are destroyed, and she is sentenced to death. However, the two spend the night together, and Marie is able to sedate Kranau, allowing her to escape and relay the plans to Austria because of her brilliant notation skills. And, I guess, ear training? However, the Austrians win, take the Russians hostage. Marie asks to interrogate Kranau, and this is where we get to my biggest question about this film. Is this love? Is this love? Throughout the film, up until this point, there's been a playful quality to the way these two try to kill each other. A kind of sick romantic tension that gives you the feeling that they're just as likely to tear each other's clothes off as they are to gouge each other's eyes out. And in this final moment, the film implies that Marie purposely drops her gun, making it look like an accident, and allows Kranau to escape, which in turn leads to her execution. And for meeting other people talk about this film, most of them would say it's because she loved him so much. She couldn't stand to see her lover executed, but does she love this guy? In my mind, these two get off on the game, on the chase, not each other. And so the decision to allow Kranau to escape feels more like a decision for herself. She loves the game and she won it. And so she's done. Mission accomplished. She can face the firing squad satisfied. And there's this really funny condescending air to that scene where she's letting him go because he's too dense to realize she's allowing it to happen. He really thinks he got the better of her.
If it weren't going to be more exciting out there, I'd be tempted to stay with you. Hope you're on my side next war.
And you might apply that throughout the entire film. A lot is made of Marie being a female spy, and she's often walking into rooms confronted by large groups of all men gawking at her. The men in the film want to use her to their own ends while constantly demeaning her. But throughout the entire film, we're given the sense that Marie is in complete control of her life, and nothing happens that she doesn't choose to happen. Even her execution, we see a slight smile come across her face before they pull the trigger, even while one of the soldiers has an emotional breakdown at the idea of killing a woman.
I will not kill a woman! I will not kill any more men either! Do you call this war? I call it butchery! You call this serving your country? You call this patriotism? I call it murder!
Marie adjusts her stockings and reapplies some lipstick. It's the perfect distillation of the film's attitude towards gender. It's as if Marie is saying, you silly little boys with your wars and your medals and your honor, you have no idea what the world is really like. Is it not clear that I think Dietrich is incredible in this film? Because she is. Victor McLaglen as Colonel Kranau is fine. He's definitely slimy enough with his big, gross smile plastered on his face, but I'm not sure he offers much more than that. And I love the way the music is used in this film. At first, it seems like just a way to add tension and atmosphere, but it's all, I'm saying all right now, and I'm not 100% sure that it's all, but I think all the music is diegetic. So when we get to the moment when Marie uses her musical skills to get the secret plans out, it's a fun little surprise and works really well in the world we've created. There's also some really beautiful filmmaking. Josef von Sternberg is back to form after an American tragedy. If you want to hear me talk more about that, you can you can click right there. In the meantime, go watch something old other than me. Is that all I'm going to say about the filmmaking in this? There's more to be said.